Hey, welcome to another episode of the Fit Growth Machine podcast. I'm Roisentul, your host, and today I'm going to interview Katie Eckstrom. She's the marketing director at Plugable, and we'll discuss how to leverage Amazon and email marketing to ace this holiday season. Katie has been in the e-commerce space for 7 years and the tech space for 5. She has launched over 30 successful products on Amazon, and she has built an email list from scratch with no budget that now has 30,000 subscribers. That's correct. But before talking to her, let me tell you that this episode is brought to you by BSR Digital. At BSR Digital, we help e-commerce brands that want to scale their business to the next level through Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads. Yes, even after the iOS 13 update, now more than ever, we understand that it's really important to level up the marketing and design a solid strategy, as what used to work doesn't anymore. So if your e-commerce brand lacks a solid plan and professional team to increase sales, we can help the same way we have helped more than 1,000 brands like yours for over a decade. To learn more, you can visit us at bsrdigital.com, and you can also email us at hello@bsrdigital.com. Now, as promised, I have Katie here with me. Hey, Katie, thanks for being on the show.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So why don't you start by telling the audience more about your story?
So I guess to start, I currently right now am marketing director at Plugable Technologies. Just really briefly, because people probably have not heard of us. We're a small USB peripheral and docking station company. And so born on Amazon, but now kind of sell omni-channel, e-commerce focused, but Amazon really is our main bread and butter. My story is a little unique and different. I'm very young, I'm 27. And so when most people see marketing director, they're like, how do you get to that kind of role that quickly? I will jump back probably to college. I was an accounting major in business school. I was like, I love numbers. I'm really good at the black and white type thing. And so I did that for the first year and I was like, this is cool. I'm just not excited by it. And I had to do a bunch of just like entry level classes when I was in business school, and marketing 101 was one of those. And so first day of class, I went in there and we talked about like the 5 P's of marketing, and I was instantly hooked. And so I went into my advisor that day and I was like, I want to be a marketing major and I want to switch. And so I did. I got a mentor who was in the graduate program who was doing marketing at the time. And she was like, a lot of people don't end up in the actual industry of what they major in. And I was like, okay, well, I still love marketing and I want to explore this. And so I started doing a bunch of marketing internships, which is where I started doing some commerce stuff. I started working for a subsidiary of Lowe's who was selling all of their furniture online. So I was helping with like catalog and putting listings up there. I loved it, got a really hands-on experience doing that and being on the social team, which was really cool. And then got a little bit of experience in a sports marketing company, and I was doing all of their social media stuff. And so I ended up saying, okay, after I graduate, I'm going to do a full-time marketing role with you, where I was going to be the only marketing person and kind of build out what marketing would look like for the sports marketing company. And then I graduated. 2 months in, I'm like, hey, I'm still part-time. Like, I'm ready to go full-time. I got some student loans to pay off. And they were like, we can't afford you. And so they let me go. So I was 4 years out of school, had my marketing degree and no job. So I just started applying to anything and everything that I could. And my first interview was with Plugable. And I met at the time who was the founder and CEO. I did an interview with him and he was like, we've never had a marketing person before. Our entire company is all engineers, because really what we do is we care about the product. It's all about sourcing the best product, testing, giving the best customer experience, and then basically Amazon reviews, getting positive reviews and going through that whole cycle again. And he was like, this is an exploratory role. My title was something crazy. I don't even remember what it was. I wasn't even marketing specialist. And so they offered me the job and I was like, I have nothing. I should just take it and try it and kind of see what happens. And so I started. And 6 months in, I realized engineers aren't really good at kind of keyword research and taking photos and doing packaging. And so I talked to the CEO and I was like, hey, I'm only one person. There's only so much I can do as kind of one person. I think that we should hire a graphic designer. And then 6 months later, I think we should hire a videographer. And then 6 months later, I think we should hire an e-commerce specialist so we can start taking some of the stuff off the engineers. And so I ended up building this team of e-commerce specialists, really basically is what it was. And so over the past 5 years, I've grown the team now from myself to a team of almost 15 in total, which has been crazy. Anything kind of unlike anything I ever expected out of college with literally no job, to now being in this position where we're selling across 20 plus different marketplaces. We have a product line of over 130 different products and really getting to do what I love every day, which is marketing. And especially in the e-commerce and tech space is always really fun and exciting. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride over the past 5 years.
It's been a crazy ride. I can tell it's a great story. Thank you for sharing that. And I guess that, e-commerce is not the same as it was before, right? So what do you think that has changed since then, mainly?
Yeah, when I started, the first thing was I was like, there's so many things going on that the company was already doing. Like, where's one person who can actually kind of make an impact? And where I started was actually with an email marketing. And they had a list of like a couple hundred people from their blog subscribers that they had. And so started really focusing on building kind of a community and a list. And I don't think back then, 5 years ago, I really realized the kind of impact that you can have with email marketing that you can have today. You have so many more tools and resources kind of at your disposal than you did 5 years ago. It was really, can we send an email and get an open rate in a click, and hope that someone will come kind of interact or purchase from us afterwards. And now we get to really build this kind of full funnel email strategy that's really customized and targeted towards the individual. So they're seeing the exact information that they want to see at the exact point in time. So email marketing has changed. I feel like, I hire a lot of young people in career on my team, and they're always like, oh, I don't have any experience, or I don't have any Shopify experience. And I'm like, the e-commerce world is so fast that you're going to get up to speed with people who've been doing it for 20 years. As long as you're willing to learn and spend the time and read and listen to stuff and really get involved in the space, because there's always a new tool. There's always a new resources that you can kind of go and try and see what works and kind of what doesn't. So yeah, it's been a lot of changes over the past 5 years, and I expect over the next 5 years, e-commerce is going to look completely different than it does now.
Yeah, last few years were crazy, right? For every brand, every business out there, but specifically for e-commerce, right? It was a crazy couple of years. So yeah, that's great. You mentioned email marketing, and you mentioned that you grew at least to 30K or something like that, right? You said you started from, I don't know, a few hundreds that they used to have back then. How did you grow that list, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. It's not just hey, put my form out here and sign up. You got to have a value prop and a reason for people to want to open your email and read what you have to say. And so we started really early on doing events. Events was a big thing, where we would meet people and have them sign up for first to know about a new product or discounts on things and stuff like that. And then we would do giveaways. So anytime there was like a new MacBook announced, we would say, here's a whole setup of all of these things that go around your MacBook in order for you to be really productive and have this awesome desk setup. Set up and we'll pick a winner, kind of thing. So that was a really easy way to get a larger list pretty quickly. All organic. We never did anything paid. I didn't have marketing budgets. And so everything was completely organic, which is great. And then more recently, over the past couple of years, where our list has kind of exponentially grown is through back in stocks and out of stocks. We've been in this very weird world over the past couple of years with shortages. And so for us, it's the chip shortage. We've been greatly affected by it. So we'll launch a product and within 2 months, we're out and people are like, I want this. And so we create forums for people to go and sign up and interact with us. And so that's been a huge way that we've kind of built this list. And so we've spent a lot of time strategizing around when someone signs up for a back-end stock for a Thunderbolt dock so they can connect dual 4K monitors to their Mac, what kind of information can we give to them that's valuable and useful and helpful? Not so much necessarily trying to get a sale, but just trying to create a relationship with somebody. And so that's been a way that we've been able to get people to sign up and interact with us over the past couple of years.
That's great. And by form, you mean like you do a pre-order when when a product is out of stock and someone wants to buy it? Do you do like a pre-order? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, so we'll do pre-orders for launches sometimes, depending on kind of when our embargo date is. So if we can let people know about a launch early, or we'll literally on a product page on our website embed a Google form that says, hey, this product is out of stock. Sign up to be the first to notify when it comes back in. And we built a huge email list from doing that.
Yeah, that's great because it turns something like it turns a dead end into an actionable thing, an useful action that will turn, visitors into subscribers. And yeah, it's something that everyone could, leverage or take advantage of, and they're probably not doing. They're paying for traffic, probably, uh, and they are not doing something about it when they are out of stock. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And about the team, because you said something interesting about your story, or when you mentioned your story that you built a team from the ground up, like we need to hire someone, we need to hire the next one, and etc. So what type of roles do you think that an e-commerce brand needs to have nowadays? Since things have changed a lot in the last few years, do you think it's yeah, probably that's the question. What kind of roles do you
Yeah.
think that should be a part of a marketing team nowadays?
Yeah, I think marketing looks very different now than it did 10 years ago. And so sometimes I'll work with people and they'll be like, I need a picture or I need a PDF. And I'm like, cool, we do so much more than that. And so the way that I describe it to people is we're really the go-to market strategy for the company. And so that's the way that we've built the team, is around that. So we don't just have graphic designers, we have e-commerce specialists and e-commerce analysts. So we've been really thoughtful, strategic about how we've built the team so that we don't grow too fast and kind of too quickly. And so it's really about kind of what need do we have that we have to kind of fill. So starting off with, I think graphic designer was my first hire, of like, we have to have packaging that is actually designed correctly and has the right product information on it, is easy for people to understand and read, and quick start guides so people when they get a product, because our products are very technically complex, they know how to set it up, and we do reduce return rates. And then the second one I did was the videographer, and that was one that, I mean, video is everything. And that was 5 years ago where I was like, we need a videographer and have to, in order to even just be competitive in the space with video advertising, and growing our YouTube channel is a huge part of our strategy. So I guess creative was a huge part of that, but then also really building out our e-commerce team was a huge part as well. And so making sure that we're listed everywhere that we want to be listed so that we're findable. I mean, we really believe the buyer's journey is meeting people where they're at. So not saying you have to come to plugable.com to buy us. Where do you like to shop? And that's where we want to be listed. So listening to our target audience when we have a strong presence in Australia or Singapore, and making sure that our full catalog is available there. And we have enough inventory in order to kind of meet that demand and things like that. So, and then obviously once you are listed, it's about optimizing. And so do we have great product information? So I hired a copywriter, because engineers writing your listings isn't the best. You need a copywriter who can actually kind of speak to your audience. So he's been a huge help and someone who's made a big difference. And so, we've been really take kind of baby steps along the way to build a team. But I think marketing teams now look so different than they were before. It's not just a graphic designer and an email marketer. It really is being kind of that holistic go-to market strategy for the entire company.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. In fact, I mean, I think that everything has changed. Everything is going towards, leveling up the marketing, going to back to the basics in terms of, the targeting criteria. Before it was like, okay, we should laser target this audience, and now probably it's not that way anymore. It's not that feasible to do it even in many industries. So we need to, probably go broader with regards to the audiences, but then going more, laser target with regards to the message. And again, as you said, I like that, meet people where they are at and where they buy, where they want to buy, right? That's super important nowadays. And you mentioned the user journey. We are going to address that later in the conversation, but that's probably a whole different topic, right?
Yeah.
It's super complex and getting even more complex as we speak. But I wanted to discuss briefly Amazon, if you don't mind, because I think that it's a huge, well, I think no, it's a huge platform, right? And but something that it's been like not a contradiction, but something that brands are fighting with or against is we have been discussing a lot in this podcast with many owners, founders, directors that the brand element, the brand awareness, the building a brand, standing for something is more important than ever. In fact, a report made by the founder of e-commerce fuel, one of the top e-commerce communities in the US, they actually put that in written after, I don't know, they did a survey on, I don't know, 600 plus e-commerce brands and many other, you know, partners, and they found the same thing. The branding element was one of the key differentiator between the top performers and the rest of the e-commerce brands. How does that play on Amazon, as it's a more of a, let's say, transactional platform? You look for a product, right? Is there anything brands can do there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think brands have struggled on Amazon for a lot of years to make a name for themselves, because people go on Amazon, they search spatula, and then they're going to pick the one that has the best price and the most reviews. They're not looking at who sells it. And so it's been interesting over the past couple of years to watch a lot of these Amazon and be a part of a lot of these Amazon programs that have come out that really help brands promote themselves in a way, and really make a presence on Amazon. We're not just somebody who sells a Thunderbolt 4 dock. We're a US based brand. We have an entire team of US based support of people who know these products inside and out. And so it's been really fun to be a part of a lot of these betas and pilots that Amazon's doing, because I think like Amazon does a consumer report every single year of like what consumers care about and what they look for when purchasing a product, and brand continues to move higher and higher on the list. And so I think consumers are starting to realize, understand, okay, I'm going to buy from a company that I support their mission and their values and how they do things. Or I like a company that cares about sustainability, and I'm going to maybe pay $5 more for this brand versus somebody who I don't know who they are, I don't know what they stand for or care about. And especially, I mean, I've seen so many surveys with Gen Z of this is something that's so important to them, and they'll be way more likely to buy a product from a brand their values align with their own personally. So yeah, we've done a lot of testing here to figure out what resonates with people. And so for us, on every single last bullet on Amazon, for every product page, we have something about who we are, our support team, and our warranty that we offer. And so that's across everything. We hope people read it and get down to the sixth bullet. We also are participating in Amazon's new feature that they have called Brand Story, which is at the top of your A+, where you can put it across all of your product pages, and it highlights who you are as a brand, the products that you offer, and it links to your Amazon store, which is, I think, newer for people. Not a lot of people have seen Amazon stores, but every brand can create an Amazon store, and we've seen traffic and sales go up exponentially over the past couple of years with our Amazon store, which I guess for people who don't know what that is, it's basically like a mini Shopify site, but within Amazon. And so every product and everything that you click on takes you to an Amazon listing, but we get to put pictures and videos and blurbs about us. in there. And so kind of create this kind of cool shopping experience for people. So we've done that. Another one that Amazon came out with that we were in the beta pilot for, which is now being released out to everybody, is they have a crazy name for it. It's like the customer engagement, manage your customer engagement is what it's called, but really it's an email platform within Amazon. And so over the past year, we've only been able to email our Amazon followers. So people who go to our store and actually follow us, which is a pretty small percentage of people compared to the amount of people who actually buy from us. But just a couple of weeks ago, they announced that they're adding in some new retargeting options, which is really cool. So now we get to actually email people who have recently purchased from us. We can now email repeat customers, and then we can also target by high spend customers. So people who are spending a certain amount of dollars with us in an order and things like that, which is really going to open up the pool of the type of people that we can email. We just started testing it internally. We're really excited about what to do, but it is a unique opportunity to be able to, as a brand, reach customers that we've never been able to before, because Amazon is very protective of that Amazon data.
Yeah. And is it available to everyone or only to a few select users? The email feature.
I think the email feature is opening up to everybody really soon. I think they said in early 2023 if it isn't already. And then the tailored audience feature, which is like the additional segmentation, is opening up later for everyone.
That's pretty cool
we
because
just got access to that.
yeah, that's pretty cool because one of the questions I was going to ask you is precisely that, how can we make, or how can a brand make Amazon work with their social advertising, email marketing, and all the rest of their efforts?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very new. I think when we first got access to the email program within Amazon, we were very surprised that this was something even Amazon was doing and kind of looking into. In the past, it's really been all of our external email and building our email list off of Amazon and driving that traffic to Amazon through our own email campaigns has really been the only tool for us. And it's still a great tool, but it's nice to have this kind of additional resource and be able to reach customers that don't have to sign up with us or don't have to follow us. We can now actually retarget and talk to them. It's great.
Yeah. And what about Amazon attribution? What does it do for brands?
Yeah, we love Amazon attribution. We've been using Amazon attribution for, I think, a little over a year and a half now, if not 2 years. We were lucky enough to be in the pilot for that too. And so I guess to explain it in the kind of the easiest format, Amazon attribution is a tagging system. Think about it kind of like affiliate links in a way, where you can create a link for any product. And you can use that link in any of your external marketing that you're doing. We'll use it in email campaign, we use it in YouTube descriptions, we use it on product pages. And basically what it does is it tracks the customer journey from start to finish. So we can see, let's say we're running a Facebook ad and we have an attribution link in it. We can see how many people click on the link. We can see how many people look at the detail page, how many people add to cart, and then how many people actually convert. So this is the first time in ever that we can actually now track full funnel journey off of Amazon onto Amazon. So before, a couple of years ago, when we would run social advertising campaigns, we would be running a Facebook ad and we say, okay, our Facebook metrics look great. We're getting a lot of impressions, clicks. We have no idea what the ROI is though, what conversion actually is there. But now we do. And so it's been really fun to kind of learn and see what works, what doesn't, what have we been doing really well, because before we would just do kind of best guess of what was actually converting. And now we can actually see all of that. So yeah, Amazon attribution is huge for sure.
It's great when, when we can get visibility on the efforts that we are running, on any platform outside Amazon or on Amazon, because everything is so crazy. I don't know, for example, on Facebook ads, we cannot see many conversions as we used to anymore, even if we don't run things. I mean, even if they go to Shopify, right? We have lost many, data, a lot of data since iOS 14 and 15 and so on. And when it comes to Amazon, it was like a black box. We couldn't see what was working or not. Besides, as you said, impressions, CTRs, or anything like that. So now it's great that there are features like these that allow you to do what you couldn't before and measure more.
Of course, yeah. Well, and it was hard for us before. Was do we keep focused on building our email list? Do we keep spending money on Facebook advertising? You don't know what the ROI is when like we can put it on Amazon advertising and we know exactly what the return is. And so this has been a huge game changer for us and something that has really made a difference in kind of where we can put our spend, because we don't have a ton of spend. And so we have to be really thoughtful and strategic. I mean, even just time and resources. Like, yes, I'm very fortunate to have the size of team that I do, but we sell a lot of places and we sell a lot of products. So we have to be really thoughtful about where we're spending our time. And now that makes that decision a lot easier because we know what's making an impact and what's driving sales and what are customers engaging with and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And now, by the time this episode airs, we're going to be, I don't know, like less than a month or a month away from, the holiday season, from Black Friday, from Cyber Monday, and, everything else. So, do you have any tips for everyone listening, who, own a brand, or they might be the e-commerce directors, marketing directors, and they are, wondering what to do, if they should increase budgets, decrease budgets, do more of the old thing, do a new thing, do a discount, don't do a discount, target new audiences or retarget previous audiences. Do you have any tips at all for them?
Yeah, holiday season is always an interesting time of the year. And then especially with this year, Amazon introducing their early access Prime Day, or we're calling it internally the second Prime Day of the year. That's going to be about a month and a half before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So our planning has gone into kind of hyper mode of, okay, what do we want to spend the time doing? What do we want to test this holiday season? So I guess my advice for people coming into it of saying, this is like the first year I'm selling a product on Amazon during the holiday season. Just test and try stuff. Like, there's no need to go crazy. I feel like people always get distracted by, oh, my competitor's doing a 80% discount on their products. I need to go do that for all of my stuff. And that's just not profitable or reasonable for a lot of brands to do. And so just test and try small discounts, different types of discounts, where you market those discounts. And I think you'll start to learn what works for your audience and kind of what doesn't. And so for us, something that we've learned is Prime exclusive discounts are the highest conversion out of all of the types of promotions that Amazon offers. Then doing dollar offs versus percentage off. We always see a higher conversion doing dollars as well. But for us, it's a little different. We don't sell impulse seasonal products. Like, most of our products are $100 and up, and so they're a little bit more research heavy. But there's a lot more traffic on this platform during this time of the year. And so we're not just going to kind of sit back and not do anything. So we really focus on our core audience of people who have been looking at our products or have been using us before and are maybe going to be more comfortable kind of making a purchase when they see a discount, versus somebody who's never heard of us, have no idea what a docking station is. Why go waste that money when you're not going to see the conversion from it anyways? But I would say it's a fun time of the year. We always get to kind of create fun visuals and campaigns that are a little different than what we normally do. And so even though it can be crazy, it goes by fast. Test, try things. Every year, even though we've done it for a long time now, we're always learning new things every year about kind of what works for us and what works for our audience.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I don't know if you remember, but in the prep call you mentioned a tool that you guys use to validate some, creatives or ideas that you loved. I don't know if you're allowed to mention the tool, but um, yeah, if you want, and
Yeah.
if you remember, of course, what tool do you use to validate some things before spending money on them?
I mean, we're not sponsored by them or anything like that, but we love them. We use Pickfu, Pickfu. They have a new integration with a partnership and integration with Helium 10, but we use Pickfu a lot for A/B testing or getting kind of third-party feedback on things. And so we'll put two main images next to each other. We'll spend, I think it's like $50. We get 50 respondents to come in. They get to pick A or B, give us a reason, and within 20 minutes we have kind of an answer. And they have some really cool like segmentation features in there where you can go after prime members or people of a certain demographic or a certain um, like salary range and things like that. So you can get kind of focused and kind of as close to your audience as possible. We've found they have such a high quality pool of people who are responding. We just use their generic audiences that you get, and you get such a kind of a quick gut check of like, am I right or am I wrong with, should we do this or should we do that? And we'll do a lot of stuff where we'll do like a screenshot of search results where these are the top 3 products that you see when you search USB-C hub. Which would you pick and why? Are people picking because of they see all of the peripherals connected in the main image? Are they picking because of a brand? It's a brand name that they recognize. Or does the title say Mac so they know it's compatible? We use this all the time. It's definitely worth the money, and it's always really fun. We'll do like little things internally of like how many people are picking A and how many people are picking B, and we'll see kind of who's right and who's wrong. But I've learned I am not always right. I definitely get it wrong sometimes. So it's a great way to test and see kind of what people who aren't sucked into your world every day think about what you're doing.
Yeah, sometimes it happens, what you think that will work best is not what works best in the end, right? But yeah, I love that. I love that because, some people here, I mean, listening to this might be wondering, why do I need that? Why can't I just, I don't know, run a campaign, an A/B test? Probably this is faster. This is, people that you already trust indirectly because you trust the judgment of previous campaigns that worked well. And, faster, it's always better than, slower, right? I
Yeah.
have heard once that fast beats free, and I totally believe that. So in this case, if you can get in 20 minutes the answer to something I don't know, you've been, wondering whether it's this image or video or this other. I mean, 20 minutes, it's better than a few days of campaigns. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do, there's an Amazon program called Manage Your Experience or Experiments, where you can run like 10-week long tests, and it'll be actually on Amazon, actually on your listings, and it'll show 2 different titles or 2 different sets of bullets. And so we'll be able to actually see which ones convert better. And so when we have the time and we want to be a little bit more thoughtful about the implementation, we'll start the pig food test, see what people say, and then we're like, okay, we're leaning towards A, let's go test it on Manage Your Experiments and then see if that actually is the case. We don't get to do it for everything because obviously it takes a long time. You have to have so much amount of traffic going to your listings in order to get accurate results, but that is what we'll do when we want to be really confident in what the learning is, and then before applying that to other products and other things like that. But PickFo's fun. It's great. It's fast. And really, we haven't tried anything else that can beat it.
Okay, great. I really enjoyed the conversation. You've been great. You delivered a lot of value. I wanted to thank you for that. And for everyone listening, as always, you can find every resource mentioned in the show notes. So if you are here on the website, you can find it right here. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, you will read a part of the description there. So you need to head on over to fitgrowthmachine.com and you need to find the episode and you will find all the notes right there. Katie, I really wanted to thank you for being here. Please tell me, where can people go to learn more about you and the company?
Yeah, Plugable is at plugable.com, 1G. People get that wrong a lot. And then I'm on LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with anybody. I feel like it's so important to connect with kind of like-minded people and individuals. And so if you listen to this and there's something I talked about that you're like, hey, we're trying or testing that too, reach out. Like would love to kind of build the network and more people who are in kind of the same space.
That's great. Thanks again for being here, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me.